Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about a track bar correction kit for the rear track bar on a 5th gen 4Runner. So what I have here today is the Dr. KDSS BOTK. And BOTK stands for Bolt-On Track Bar Correction Kit. So what it comes with is 2 brackets, like you see here, and a bag of hardware. So you might be asking, well, why would you even care about this and what's the point? So there's 3 reasons for my own 4Runner that I want to fix. The first one is when you lift the 4Runner in the rear, you're kind of putting the axle out of alignment. So I have Icon Vehicle Dynamics 3-inch lift springs in the rear, and the suspension in the rear doesn't just go straight up and down. Because of the track bar, it's on a fixed axis. And when you lift the 4Runner, it shifts the axle over to the side a little bit. I'll show you kind of what that looks like in a minute. But with a 3-inch lift in the rear, it shifted the axle to the passenger side, and it's a little out of alignment. Part of the reason why this matters is the track bar also has a steeper angle going into the mount now, and it's not as efficient as a level track bar from the factory. So a lot of suspension modifications, a lot of different kits with suspension either come with a longer track bar to compensate for the difference, or there's kits like this that have the actual angle adjustment for that track bar itself. So this is what I wanted to try to fix that. The second issue I'm having is with the alignment of the rear track bar and the rear axle. The left tire, the driver's side tire, when it's at full articulation stuff into the wheel well, it's actually rubbing on the fender and pulling apart the plastic piece on the trim. So I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit as well, running 35-inch tires. And the third reason why I want to install this bracket is because going highway speeds, some of the highways in Nevada have higher speed limits like 80 miles per hour. And so when you're going 70, 80 miles per hour, there's like a shudder in the rear of the 4Runner. I can't really produce it on camera, but when you're driving, you can just feel it's like a constant vibration at higher speeds. I spoke with one of my friends who also has a built 4Runner, and he put one of these kits on the rear of his 4Runner and says it alleviated that issue completely. So today I'm gonna install this kit and see if it fixes all 3 of those issues. So first I'll show you what it looks like with the aligned or the misaligned axle in the rear. All right, so it's actually a little bit harder to get it on camera to show than I thought it would, but this side is actually higher than the driver's side because of how the factory track bar without any adjustment is. So to show that, I just wanted to measure real quick, approximate measurements. From the top of this light pocket here, it's about 33.5 inches on the right side. And then when we come over here to the driver's side, it's about 33 inches exactly. So it's about 1/2 inch higher on that side, which I was hoping adding the spare tire on that side would just level things out, but it hasn't. And that's about 104 pounds on that side. So a little bit has to do with the Toyota lean, with the gas tank and the battery and everything on the driver's side. And I was hoping that would compensate for it, but it's still higher. So we'll put on the BOTK and see if it fixes the issue. And I know that's sitting over here. I still need to do a video on that, and that will come in the future soon. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a rough measurement, but I have the level up top with the fender. So outside fender is going to be the inside of this square, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it to the outside edge of the tire. So if we look, it's about 1.25 inches. So go over to the other side and measure the same. All right, same thing on the passenger side. Square, or that's level. And just eyeballing it to the edge of the tire is about 2 inches. So it's almost like 3/4 inch difference on this side. And just real quick, here's a look at the factory track bar with 3.5 inch springs. All right, so we're gonna drive through this ditch and I'll show you where it rubs, and hopefully by adjusting the track bar, we'll alleviate that issue. All right, so here's the fender, pops out. If we go around to the other side, it also touches here in the bumper. Side note, I also realized at full stuff, my bump stops are not contacting the axle, so I need to get extended bump stops. The shock also isn't fully compressed either, so I do need to extend the bump stops so it doesn't completely tear up the fender. All right, so just like everything I work on and experiment with, we gotta add a few more variables. So bump stops would probably alleviate the rubbing issue. Part of it is I still kind of think it's the track bar because the right side at full stuff does not rub on the fender. So I'm curious by aligning the track bar how much of a difference it makes, and maybe it'll be worse, but at least I'll be able to align the track bar correctly and then hopefully get rid of that vibration, and then I can address this issue with longer bump stops. So I'll install the kit. I'm not going to do an install video. There's plenty of install videos on the Dr. KDSS website, and then I'll do measurements again in the garage and then come back here and then see what this is like, and then I'll go road test it and see what you guys think, or see what the vibration does, and I'll let you guys know. Nice and level. All right, so I got it installed. I went off-roading just a little bit to get everything to settle, just to make sure it was level. I can still kind of visually tell that this side is still a little bit higher, so the Toyota lean is very persistent. Go ahead and measure and see if it made a difference. This side is 33.5 like before. And this side is about 33.25, so it raised this side up just about 1/4 inch, which I think is good. I'll go ahead and check side to side to see if the tires are aligned with the axle now. Measure the same way on the driver's side, just eyeballing it. It's about 1.25, so that's about the same. We'll do the same measurement, and it is about 1.75 inches now. I don't know where the 1/4 inch went, so we'll just call that magic, because that doesn't make sense. Okay, so we're back out in the desert. I clearly messed up the measurement somehow in the garage. I still think it's aligned, and I'll tell you why in a second. I didn't film it, but it's still rubbing. It's still making the fender pop out with 35, so that did not fix that issue that I wanted to try and fix. Two things about that. I think longer bump stops clearly would fix that issue. And then I'm gonna say something pretty controversial right now. 35s are too big a tire for a 4Runner. I know, no one wants to hear it, but 33s would fit better under the wheel well, like the old 33s that I had, and this probably would not be an issue. So again, like I said, I know the axle's aligned. Let's go underneath and I'll show you how. Okay, so we can see the new track bar stuffed underneath here. Clearance is pretty well. One thing that I might be a little concerned about, if it went any further, this might start hitting right here. It's not yet. However, after having the axle centered appropriately, I started hearing a clunk that I wasn't used to before. And let me show you where that's coming from. All right, so here we are. You can see on the rear drive shaft, there's starting to be a little shiny area right here. And what I found is now that the axle is further towards the driver's side, the drive shaft is starting to hit on the skid plate, the RCI Metalworks skid plate for the gas tank. So that's no good. Just something else I got to fix now. All right, let's discuss what happened. So this was an experiment, and things clearly didn't go as planned. I did achieve some of the goals I set out to achieve, though. So number one, did I align the axle? I would say that I did. My measurements might have been off a little bit in the garage. but the axle was clearly moved over because now the drive shaft is hitting the gas tank skid. So a couple things I might do to fix that. I might grind out the skid because this is steel skid, or I can modify the mount somehow. Hey guys, Future Sean here. I just wanted to let you know the skid plate on the gas tank is actually adjustable in the rear. And so I moved it over about 1/2 inch. It almost clearances the drive shaft now. So there's a little bit of tweaking I still have to do. Maybe just grind out the skid plate a little bit, but just wanted to let you know. I also was considering going to aluminum skid plates to reduce some weight a little bit, because I'm always kind of towards the top end of the gross vehicle weight rating, and you know, it's overloading, not overlanding. Number 2, did I stop the left tire from rubbing the wheel well? No, I think that probably was a misguided goal in the first place. I was hoping that would fix that issue, but really what the fix would be for that is longer bump stops. That needs to happen. Smaller tires. I know I don't really want to do that. I might go down, or I might just limit the travel of the shocks if I keep the 35s. The other thing to consider is the Fox 2.5s that I have in the back. They were originally designed for a Tundra, so they have extended travel on them. So I think if you limited the travel a little bit, especially on the passenger side that droops out, it won't shove the driver's side into the wheel well as much. So I might play with that a little bit, put some regular travel shocks on the rear and see how that works. And number 3, I didn't film it because all you do is see me driving in a car. The highway shutter, I can say that I can't detect the shutter anymore, so I'm hoping this fixed the issue. I think part of what that was causing is the drive shaft was slightly to one side, and so it was maybe a little bit out of alignment. That's my guess. But like I said, my friend with the same issue put one of these on and the shutter has totally disappeared. Some more things to consider. You know, would I do this again? I would absolutely recommend getting some type of Trackbar alignment, whether you get the Dr. KDSS kit, or there's another kit that you can weld on. Probably gonna butcher the name, but I'm Keith. It's kind of hard to articulate on video, you know, watching video, but on the highway, it definitely has less bump steer. Bump steer is a thing. I can feel that it's more stable on the highway and doesn't want to like pitch and change. There's less feedback that you have to give in the steering wheel because the rear end feels more planted. Same thing with off-road. You know, if there's less bump steer, it seems to be smoother off-road. I can't really explain it any other way than it's slightly better and slightly smoother. So again, I definitely recommend one of these kits. It's kind of funny to me because this video didn't go quite as planned, but that's also why I like tinkering with my vehicles and modifying and things like that. You know, figure out what works, what doesn't. Sometimes it'll send you down another rabbit hole, like the drive shaft issue that I'm gonna have. So I'll fix that, might tinker with some shocks, but in the end, that's, you know, why I like to modify vehicles and learn. So I hope you guys learned something. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button and the like button for me, and I appreciate you watching. See you in the next one.